2877, 2824, 2812. Well, today on test we've got ATA's new Turqua rifle. This is the grey laminate Thumbhole version. It's the first centrefire rifle to come out of Turkey, so I'm really looking forward to testing it. What we'll do our usual procedure. We're going to take it out onto the range and do some factories with it. We'll then shoot it up to 200 yards on some steel silhouettes and some road targets. Then we'll actually take it out and do a proper roast talk with it. And then we'll do a bit more in depth at the end of the video. Anyway, looking forward to this. It's a very nice, cost-effective centrefire rifle from ATA. So let's have a look, see how she performs. Great, I'm really excited to see how this ATA Turqua shoots. I mean, it's such a reasonably priced rifle. I'm not expecting much, but they do guarantee minute of angle groups, and judging by their shotguns, I expect good things from it, to be honest with you. It's a nice little setup here. We've got a Zeiss V4 again, and an old MA T12 moderator, which is very quiet. You also notice as well on the ATA, you've got a 60-degree bolt lift instead of a 90-degree, so it easily clears the scope here. And I really like this safety system as well. Rather than a toggle, it's actually a slide. I'm surprised that more people haven't actually done this. And it's a free position, so that is fire. In the centre there, you're safe, but you can still load and unload if you want to. And then fully back, it's totally safe. You can't lift the bolt as well. So no, very, very nice little system. And off the bench here, I mean, we're going to take it stalking obviously and out in the field and shoot some steels. But off the bench, this Thumbhole stock laminate is very, very nice indeed. And you've got a nice amount of gap here in the barrel channel. So even with a heavy moderator on there, you haven't got the problem with a bipod bounce causing trouble with the harmonics. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's turn the chronograph on, which always helps. So this FX, I keep saying it, but this True Ballistics FX Pro is such a fantastic bit of kit, because not only does the velocity, it'll do all your averages and it'll work out your BC of your bullet downrange, so you can get a really accurate ballistic coefficient to work your trajectory drops. Anyway, let's crack on. So the first up, what we're going to use, I'm using Winchester's Deer Season XP. That's a 125 grain normal soft point bullet. And again, we're set up at 100 yards. It's absolutely boiling today. So I'll be interested to see what the groups are like and the accuracy. It's a two-stage trigger, and you've got a nice feel there for the first take up, a definite stop. But I have noticed you do get quite a bit of creep on it. I haven't really looked into whether you can actually change that. I'm going to do that later on, but anyway, let's go on. Nice and quiet, 2808. Take up the first pull. 2807. Oh my God, this is got a nice group. I didn't see the first shot because it's right in the ball. And that is 2830. You probably noticed I was a little bit hesitant on there. It's weird, I'm used to having a bolt that opens more. It's literally up a little, very tiny amount, especially on a two-lug system. I'm actually quite impressed with that, actually. It's very, very good indeed. Okay, the second factory we're going to test now in the ATA Turqua is the Federal 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's a diffusion round, and that's the bonded soft point. It's 140 grain in 6.5 Cream, which is nice. As we're saying, this low bolt lift is due to the free locking lugs at the front. And I say, it really does lock in very, very nicely, and it's a nice smooth bolt. There's a little bit of hesitation. I'm just getting used to it here on the downward stroke. But that first group was very good, so let's see if these Federal achieve the same. 2652. Yeah, I'm getting used to the bolt now. 2657, and the trigger is fine. It's got actually, oh my goodness, that's a good group. 2626. Oh my god, let's have a look. Oh, two through the same hole and then one above. Still less than a minute of angle. Fantastic. Okay, well those first two groups were really nice, weren't they? Very good, considering the price point of the this ATA. Next we're going to go a little bit lighter because obviously 6.5 Creedmoor is not only very good for deer, but you can also use it with foxes or vermin with a lighter bullet. And this is Federal's 95 grain VMAX. Again, I found these very, very accurate, so I'll be really interested to see how they shoot and what velocities we get as well. So here we go. I mean, absolutely bang on at the moment. There's so mild recoil on that, it's lovely. 3,221 feet per second. Two 218. And that is a 2212. And again, we've got two for this. Oh no, it's not. That's about 1.5 inch. Yeah, it's about 1.5 inches, that one. So okay, doesn't pretty like the 95 VMAXs. That's why we test these rifles. Let's crack on to the next load. A really nice all-rounder and a reasonably heavy bullet weight for 6.5 is the 143 grain Hornaday ELDX. They have a really good high ballistic coefficient. Always very consistent on the accuracy and velocity. And again, it'd be really nice to see how this ATA shoots. So here we go, 100 yards, 3 shots. That recoil is really in line. This stock's very nice. 2686. It's a little bit off to the left. 2644. Oh, that's a nice group. 2697. And that nice upright section on this Thumbhole stock is really nice as well. It's not only comfortable, it's quite ambidextrous as well. Although you've got a palm swell here on the right hand side. But for me, getting that trigger pad here on the trigger actually does help. It's a nice reach on here for that first initial take up, and then that second, although it's slightly, I said, a little bit creepy, it's not hindering these groups whatsoever. And that is 3/4 inch group. Perfect. Okay, then finally we've got a couple of lead-free loads, and that is Barnes TTSX, the Vortex. Again, really consistent, always a really nice load. That's 120 grain. I quite like 120 grain in a Creedmoor if I'm not doing long range. If I'm tend to do longer range, I tend to like the 143 ELDX bullets, which I load up in my own Seiko S20. But here we go, let's have a look. 100 yards. Recoil is so light on this gun. 2867. 2811. And that is 2848. And the group, difficult to see, just about MOA again, so not bad at all. Okay, so last load of the day, and it's another lead free, and that's the Seiko Powerhead blade. It's 120 grain, and we'll see if it shoots as well, or if not better than the Barnes equivalent. So here we go. You get a lot of heat haze now, so that might contribute to slightly larger groups, although this size V4 scope is crystal clear. .2877. 2824. Oh, through the same hole. Come on, come on. 2812. Dare I look? Oh, yeah. I think that's one whole group. Just fantastic. Those power head blades really shoot well, don't they? Yeah, very nice. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. For the money, I mean, what is there not to like? They do a lot of varieties with walnut stock, synthetic, standards, sporter, Thumbhole laminates, different colours. You know, for like 650 quid here in England, I mean, I think it's going to sell very, very well. It'd be really nice as a beginner's gun, or even you just want something to, you know, bung in the back of the truck. It'd be a fantastic keeper's rifle because you won't have to worry about too much about knocking it about. You can still rely on the accuracy, and then you spend your money on a really decent scope and a sound moderator, or even a estate rifle up in you know, a big estate. They can take the clients, just have this, so you know, clients can go out and have a nice reliable gun. No, very impressed with that. And now we're going to crack on, and we'll actually take it out and do some, you know, proper stalking with it. Okay, well, I thought I'd do a little bit of a realistic shooting. I put a steel crow target up at 200 yards. It's beyond the 50 yards, beyond that tree over there. A nice safe backdrop in the earth. We've got those Seiko powerhead blades. Let's see how it shoots. And it is really hot today. And the ground is very hard. Oh, but let's give it a go. Here we go. First shot. Oh, that was absolutely smack in the middle. Blooming hell, this is good. Yep, just below it, Bill. Inch below, I moved on that. Right, get your breathing right. Here we go, let's try and get 3 out of 3. 200 yards on the crow, ATA, Turqua. Yes. I don't even think, I think that's under 2-inch group at 200 yards with those. When that is a good performance, isn't it? Because even the price of that gun. Right, fantastic. I'm now really confident this is shooting really well. Let's go and try and get a roebuck or deer, or maybe even a fox. We'll call a fox in. Way down there is the doe and the young buck, and then this chap came out. I didn't have enough time to get the trigger cam on, and yeah, very, very happy. It's a nice buck which came out very, very quickly, and you can still see the young doe and young buck at the bottom of the field there. Wonder what's going on. Well, there you go. That's a pretty good end to a fantastic even stalking here. It's about 28 degrees C, even this late in the evening. And the new ATA Turqua grey laminate Thumbhole really performed well. It's fantastic. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet because there's still a doe and a young buck, which we were watching earlier, rutting in and out of this crop here and up and down this hedge line. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, this buck came out here. I was feeping a little bit with the road call here in the old pocket. It worked an absolute treat. He came out. I didn't have enough time, annoyingly, to put the trigger cam on, but boom, straight down. And that was the Seiko powerhead blade, 128 grain, really fantastic. And I've got to be honest with you, that's a fantastic conclusion. You saw how accurate this was in the accuracy test. Out to 200 yards, we get 1.5-inch groups with those Seiko powerhead blades. Well, same ammunition tonight, boom, straight down. And I think that's a great testament to this ATA Turqua. And this is the Thumbhole model. I think it retails just under £1,000 here in Britain. The synthetic model is $599, which is incredibly good value for money. So if you look on the market for an accurate, hard wearing, and you know, it gets the job done. Let's be honest with you, it works, doesn't it? then why not give the ATA Turqua a go? It worked here this evening for me, and I'm very, very pleased. Another lovely Surrey roebuck. Well, you've seen how well the ATA Turqua shot in the tests, and the long-range shooting on those 200-yard crow. Blooming hell, that was good shooting, wasn't it? With those Seiko powerhead blades. And also we've got a nice roebuck as well, which just proves it's a very capable stalking rifle. I just want to go through quickly a few little points about the rifle, a little bit more detail. So it's the first centrefire rifle to come out of Turkey, which is very, very nice. You have an overall length in this model of 44.25 inches, and it weighs about 8 pounds, and that's because it's the laminate model. Obviously, it's available in a lot of different guises. You can get the synthetic stock, you can get a laminate in different colours, you can get the sporter laminate, adjustable cheek piece, you can also get a tactical, semi-tactical, camo finished, bronzed actions, you name it, you can get it. It's a great variety, and they've really gone to town, and I applaud ATA for doing that. So it's basically something for everyone. Here we have what they call the Turqua grey laminate Thumbhole, and that's the one which we've been using for testing, and as such I've been very, very pleased. So let's look a little bit at the stock first, because this is the part that really sort of sets it apart from a lot of the other rifles in its range. As you can see, it's really well finished actually for a laminate stock and a gun of this price range. It's the lovely black and grey laminate epoxied layers here of the wood sandwiched together. This is making it very, very weatherproof, and it won't warp either, which is nice. So when the weather changes and you get any warpage on, say, a standard walnut stock, it won't do this on this gun, which is nice because it's also sealed with a sort of semi-lacquer finish here, and the barrel is free floated, so no movement here will transfer to the barrel and ruin your accuracy. So that's a great point to have about a laminate stock, let's be honest with you. You also got a good weight and balance to it as well. Being a wood rather than synthetic, I always find they actually balance the rifle a lot better, and this balances up quite nicely because you've got quite a long barrel on this one. This is a 24-inch barrel, as you can see here. You do have laser cut checkering, and actually it's done very well, nicely executed, and very nicely done actually to the fore-end. Not so keen about the logos, that's a sort of pet hate of mine, but whatever, that's just me, to be honest with you. I'm a great Thumbhole fan. I love Thumbhole stocks. I have lots of Macmillan Lazzaroni Thumbholes on my custom rifles. I must say, this is a really nice design. Not only does it look nice overall, you've got a nice generous Thumbhole here, easy to grab hold of, semi-palm swell here, although it is pretty ambidextrous to use, I've got to be honest with you. You've got a quite straight comb here, which does well with the Zeiss V4 fitted here. Slight raise here on the semi-Monte Carlo. Other than that, and on the other side, you'll see there's a slight dropped cheek piece for a little bit more comfort. You have a soft recoil pad here, slightly harder plastic on here, like on a shotgun, so when you actually get it into your shoulder, it doesn't snag on your clothing, and you have spaces here so you can alter the length of pull. It starts at 14.5 inches, but then you can add these spaces to lengthen it or shorten it as you will. So what I'm going to do now quickly, I'm going to quickly take it apart, and I just want to show you the bedding. Okay, so with the action out of the stock, you can then see that you actually have a reinforced recoil lug located here, made out of steel, and that is screwed into the laminate stock for a good fixture, and this fits directly onto the integral steel recoil lug, which is massive. You can see it there, ginormous, and it fits in very, very snugly. No other bedding is needed, and from the test as we saw, it shoots very well, doesn't it? So the bottom metal, which actually is polymer, very lightweight, and it has two securing Allen bolts here. One goes up through the front and attaches through into the recoil lug here. The second goes at the back and just in front of the trigger guard. But when you reassemble it, you must be careful, because this rear one, they actually both have pillars. If you look very closely, they actually have pillars attached, which is nice. And when the rear one, there's a slot in it that has to face the rear, otherwise you won't be able to get the floor plate back into the stock. And there's also a little lip which needs to go in, and that caught me out. So just one thing to remember, but a nice fact that ATA have actually put integral pillars which go up for the stock, gives it great rigidity and really stops that action moving around or twisting. I mean, it's not going anyway, it's massive, but I think that's one of the reasons it actually does contribute to that fantastic accuracy we saw. A very, very nice feature there. Okay, now let's take a look at the action, which, let's face it, is the heart of any decent rifle, and it's massive. It's a steel action, and it's like 9 inches over all told, and that's basically will accommodate all the calibers. I mean, on the tactical version, you can get 338 Lapua Magnum, which is, I guess, the way they've actually done it. So it's one action fits all. It's a very heavy action, but it beds very nicely into stock, like we've seen with a single recoil lug here, which is very, very good. It's faceted on the sides, and on the top you have a 0 MOA Picatinny rail, which is very nice, which is de rigueur these days, so you can actually fit any type of scope you want to the Turqua, which is very good. And it actually makes the whole rifle very, very planted and actually balanced in the centre. The point of balance here is just about here, which is very, very nice. Although the whole rifle does weigh about £8 and more, obviously with sound moderator fitted, but I don't mind that because it plants the rifle. It feels very steady in the aim, which is very good. Also, with an action this size as well, or receiver, it's very sturdy and rigid, and you've got a nice satin blue finish as with the barrel there as well, which is very hunter friendly. You have a 3-bolt lug system here, giving a low bolt lift of only 60 degrees, which is very, very nice. And as you saw in the tests, that actually caught me out a little bit, because when it comes to here, there's almost like a deliberate stop, and then you pull it back. Now I've got used to it, it's very, very easy to use as well. It's very, very nice. With the bolt, if we take it out, there's a bolt release on this side here, and we'll take the bolt out and have a closer look at it. You'll actually see that it's got a 3 lug arrangement here, which is nice, and you also have a very, very large extractor claw. I call it a sort of M16 or sort of semi Seiko. Seiko is shorter, obviously. It pivots, grabs very well. It's recessed head here and a really nice plunger, which ejects the cases very quickly. Also, it's a big, heavy old bolt. You know, big, heavy old bolt, and these lugs don't protrude further than the bolt body. So that means there's no raceways inside the action itself. So it's just a smooth cylinder. So the bolt actually moves backwards and forwards very, very smoothly, which is really good design. I really like that. I think it's very, very clever indeed. I'll just put it back in quickly. There you go. I also like the bolt handle, semi-dog-legged here, all in one. Extra knurling around to get a little bit extra grip with the teardrop here, and hollowed out to save a little bit of weight. You'll also notice on the bolt body there are some flutes. It's not all along the body on the front like some have spiral flutes. This one has the flutes really where you need it, so it also makes sure that any debris gets in there, any oil, it doesn't clog up the system or bind. I think that's a clever way of doing it actually. It's more practical than visual on the Turqua. Also, you'll notice a steel, very large bolt shroud here and cocking indicator. So if you did get a pierced primer, then any gases venting back here will be dissipating, won't go into your eye. Also the cocking indicator, when it's out, it's a visual and tactile feel that the rifle is cocked. Pull the trigger, and obviously it goes, it's fired. The gun was obviously empty. And that's basically the action. It's a very nice, well made, smooth, and well bedded into stock. And you saw from those accuracy tests how good it was. Very impressed with that action. Yeah, very cleverly ATA have actually provided the Turqua with a 3-shot and a 5-shot magazine. The 3-shot here is flush fitting, 5-shot a bit further down. They're all polymer. They release very simply with a catch in the front, which just releases it, doesn't pop it out, so you don't lose it on the grass. Then you just pull it out like so. They're all polymer made, which is very nice. It's a polymer follower as well, single stack. And as you saw in the test, no feeding problems whatsoever. So, you know, good on ATA. That's all you need in a bolt action magazine fed rifle. Perfect. We have a couple of options here on the grey laminate Thumbhole Turqua. You can have a 20-inch barrel or 24-inch barrel. This is a 24-inch barrel, which was sent to me for testing. Personally, I'd rather have a 20-inch because in England we have a sound moderator. You take about that much off, and when you put the moderator on, it just makes the whole rifle a little bit shorter. Because I must admit, when I put the MAE sound moderator on, it was fantastic, but it did add weight to it, made it a little muzzle heavy. When I was out stalking, I carried the rifle over my shoulder and slung with the moderator down. Just a point to remember. Personally, I'd go for a 20-inch. You won't lose anything on a 6.5 Creamer or 308 for that matter, you know, at normal deer hunting ranges. It's screw cut with a nice thread protector here. That's 15mm by 1. Very nicely screw cut. And you've got a sort of semi-target 11 degree crown here as well, with very, very nice appointed rifling here. It's button rifle, by the way, 1 in 8 twist on the 6.5 Creedmoor, of course. Also got the sort of semi satin matte blue finish, which is quite nice, although I have marked it a few times, so that may be worth watching out on that. It's free float, as you say, all the way around, and shooting off the bench or off hard ground like we did with a bipod, you don't get any bipod bounce interfering with the harmonics. So, you know, the barrel is just as it is. It's also guaranteed by ATA to shoot sub MOA groups, which is perfect. And as you saw in the test, of the average of those factory, you average out all those target group sizes, it came to 0.63 of an inch, which I think is fantastic for a factory-made gun shooting factory ammo. Let's take a little look at the trigger now. This is an adjustable unit, and you can adjust it via an aperture here in the trigger guard, which relates to a little grub screw here. And you can adjust, the trigger weight is adjustable from 1.75 to 3.5 pounds. And I had it on test with the Lyman gauge, and it came out at 2 pounds 6 ounces, which is a nice, good average. I think that's a nice weight to have on a hunting rifle, let's be honest with you. Only thing I did find was there was a little bit of creep. I know it's a new rifle, and I haven't messed around with it, but you've got a 2-stage. First pickup is fine, and then, see that? Just a little bit of creep, and then you get a release on it. We'll do that again. Pick up fine, and then it's just a little bit of creep, and then you get the sear release there. But on a rifle of this price, who's going to complain? Because quite frankly, the accuracy was excellent, so I would leave it alone. If you really want to play around with it, then you can, you know, no problem. Okay, let's have a look at the safety, because that's another interesting feature as well, and that's a free position safety. So we'll put the rifle back together, and we'll operate the safety and show you how that will conclude the video. And then finally on this test on the Turqua, I just want to have a quick look at safety. It's quite interesting actually. It's a side mounted safety. Most are lever actions here on rifles, which go back, or they're on the back of the bolt shroud or a ramp cocker decocker. This is actually a free position safety on the side, and it's actually sliding, which is quite nice. And it's actually quite easy to use with your hands in situ on the thumb there. It's a little bit noisy, as you can hear. I did have one roebuck during the right hear it, but he's about 20 foot away, but you know, who can complain? Anyway, with the rifle cocked, cock it. Forward is fire. You've got a red indicator here, and you can fire the rifle. Cock it again. In the mid position, with the white dot showing, rifle is now safe, but you can still operate the bolt and remove a cartridge from the chamber if you want to get over a hedge or up a high sea or change your cartridge. And in the rearmost position here, you've actually locking the trigger, and it locks a bolt, completely safe, so you can actually maneuver around in the chamber if you so wish. So there you are. I mean, that basically is the ATA Turqua. I think it's a very, very nice hunting rifle, well priced, and we're going to see a lot of them on the British market. And as you can see from the video, it performed fantastically on targets, long range shooting, and we've got a lovely roebuck as well. So what is there to complain about? Great, good on ATA for producing a nice rifle with some very interesting features.